Hello everyone, this is Introduction to HTML. My name is Mohit and I'm a community learning specialist here at DoSpace. We have two people here. We'll wait for 2 more minutes to see if we have more people joining us today, and then we'll start working on this. And please let me know if you are not able to hear me and if you have any difficulty following me. If you can hear me, good. Everything is good with you. Thank you so much for your message, Jana Taylor. Thank you. So we'll wait for 1 more minute here to see if we have more people joining us. And then we will go ahead and we'll learn some basic things about HTML today. I also want to show you some free resources that you can access online, and you can use those resources to learn more about HTML and practice your HTML if you want to. And at any point of time, if you have any questions, you can write me in the chat message. And I'm going to acknowledge your chat messages, questions, and I'm going to answer them for you. So you don't have to wait through the end of this session. Whenever you have a question, just ask me, and then I'm going to answer for you. Okay, looks like we can start now. Increase the volume from here. Okay, so this is the presentation that I have that I use in all of the sessions. And this has all the information about HTML. If you want later, you can tell me your email address, or I can tell your email address. You can write me an email, and then I can forward you this presentation if you want. So let's talk about what is HTML first of all. So HTML is the abbreviation is for Hypertext Markup Language. And this is the language to use to create web pages. So all the web pages, whatever you see on internet, if you see on internet, any page, let's say any page about Omaha, any page about Colorado, any page, any information that you type on internet to find anything or Google anything or whatever page you see, that information has been built up in HTML. And using HTML, you can create web pages with texts, graphics, sounds, and videos. So pretty much you can do everything that you see on a web page with the HTML. So we're going to take an example here. I'm going to show you how does it work and how exactly HTML, means, how you can understand HTML better. For example, I go to a page on Google, and I want to find out about Omaha. So I just type Omaha here in the Google search box, and it comes up with some options here, Omaha City, Nebraska. I click on Omaha City, Nebraska, and then there are some options here. So I'm gonna click on one of the link. Actually, let's go ahead and click on the official site in Omaha. So I'm gonna click on one of the links here, and then I see that there is so much information on this page. So there are so many pictures here. There may be some videos, the big videos, small videos. There are so many, graphics here. And then there is some pamphlets and everything. So all of these pages, they have been built in HTML. And if you want, you can go ahead and you can see the code to the page that has been written, the code of the pages that has been written in these web pages. And how you can do that? So you go to a specific page here, specific text here, you select those texts, and then you right page, right click on that specific word, and you go to inspect. And you can either, you can also do Control Shift plus I to see the information on that page. So I'm gonna go ahead and take it from the starting. So you type in this page here, and then you have information, you have pictures here, and then you have so much text here, and then you have more pictures. So if I want to see the code of this page, I can do that just right clicking on any of the thing here and clicking on inspect. And when you click on inspect here, this is going to open a new window on the right hand side. I hope all of both of you, you can see my screen and you can see that there is a new window on the right hand side here, which has all the tool, all the codes about of the page that has been written on the left hand side. So this is how you can see code of a specific page written in HTML. So, every page, as we just saw in our website, just saw in our presentation, that this is used to create a web pages with text, graphics, sounds, and video. And this is a very good examples how this page has been created. So in order to write a page, like this, you have to write a code like this. So you have to write a code like this, and this first, when you look at the code, this can look so much for you. And why does it look so much? Because so many lines of coding and so much, because this is a page with so much information. This is a page with information about different pages, and then there's a plan your stay, some maps, so many images, so many text, and then also information about so many other resources here at the bottom. So this is how you write codes, and this is how you work on these pages to make those pages, and then you publish those pages on the internet so that people can see those pages. So in every of my class, I talk about one of the very good resource which you can practice it by yourself, which is free to use, which is W3 Schools. I don't know if you know about this resource, but this is a very good resource to, to learn any of the language that you want to learn. They have so many languages other than HTML. They have CSS, JavaScript, and SQL programming, and so many of them. As you can see, there's a very big list here. But if you want to go to HTML, you can go to HTML, learn HTML, and then if we go, then there are different tutorials here. So we're going to talk about these tutorials and I'm going to show you how to do some practice with these tutorials here. But let's go ahead and talk about our presentation here. So we talked about what is HTML, and we talked about this is used to make building pages on internet. And I showed you an example how the code has been written, how people write the code, and then how they publish the code to be on the internet so that people can see the same things on the internet. And then now, the next thing in our presentation is tags. So you can say tags are pretty much the building blocks of HTML language. Every code has been written in tags. Whatever code you write, there has to be a specific number of tag. And whatever thing that you want to do in HTML, there has to be a specific tag to do thing. For example, if you want to write, if you want to write a heading, there's a tag for heading. If you want to write a paragraph, there's a tag for paragraph. If you want to attach a file, there's a tag to attach a file. If you want to attach a link to another page, and if you want to make the words that you're writing, if you want to make it bold, or if you want to make it italic, so whatever you want to do, everything has to be written in tags. So tags can be called as the building blocks of HTML language. So wherever it says the same thing here, the essence of HTML programming is tags. A tag is a keyword enclosed by angle brackets. Example this. So this is a tag to write how to write italics. So you write with the angle brackets, and then you write the tag of the specific word here, and then you close the tag. So there are openings and closing tag for many, but not for all tags. So I'm going to explain this to you in more details. Let's go ahead and try to look into more details with one of our examples in HTML tutorials. So this is, we'll go ahead and learn about the basic makeup of a page. So whenever you write, you want to code a specific page in HTML, the page should have few things. That is what we are going to see. And then there we will see that, we're going to see, of course, we're going to see tags. And then at the page, the building block page, we will be able to make differentiation between some of the tags and see, also we can see, how does a specific basic layout page in HTML looks like. So in W3 Schools, you can go ahead, if you want, you can just open it along the Zoom call. If you want to, you can, practice with me. So this is one of the basic page, and you see the code here, and then and then you will see a link here which will say try it yourself. When you click on try it yourself, it's going to open another page for you. So try it yourself. On the left hand side, you will see the code, and on the right hand side, you will see how the code has been run after you wrote the code. So it's pretty much like example we saw here on the Omaha website. There's just difference that code is on the right hand side and the content is on the left hand side. And in W3 School, there is a difference that code is on the left hand side, vice versa. Code is on the left hand side, and the run after that, how does it look like? That is on the right hand side. So if you will see here the specific page, doc type HTML, first is just to tell us about that this is a HTML format document. And then HTML is to start when you start writing your page. So you can write a page, you can understand it like you can write a page as small as you want, and you can write a page for as long of code lines as you want, and depends upon what is your requirement. If you require to write a very, a big page with the big content, with so much content, with so many pictures, audios and videos and screenshots, and, linking to another pages, linking to server images and all those things. So that page would be much, much bigger. But then if you want to just write a specific page, a very small page like this has been written in 12 to 13 lines, so you can just write a specific code like this too. So you will see there's a HTML tag, and then we are starting the HTML tag here, and then there's an ending HTML tag. So HTML tag has been ended, and we just saw in the PDF file that we have been reading about that, whenever you close the tag, that is closes the tag with a /. So here it is, the opening and closing tag use the same command, except the closing tag contains the additional /. For example, if the expression you want to make something bold, you will start with angle brackets B, and then you will close it with angle brackets, and then the /. This is pretty much what we are looking here in W3 Schools. When I started HTML here, I close HTML here with the /. When I started head here, see, I started the head, and then I close the head with the /. Bodies here, I close the body with the /. And then, the only tag that is looking on our run side is the title. So title is a tag which says space title here. And then there's a heading tag, it's H1 to write a heading. This is a heading. This is a heading, that is what I see here. This is a heading, and there's a paragraph tag for P. This is a paragraph, and that is what I see written here. The important thing here to notice is, which is also in our presentation, that it says here the title will appear. I think it says in the following slides here, but I'm gonna tell you here because it makes more sense here. So it says that the word that you write in between the tags, between closing tags. So this is H1 is our closing tag for heading 1, and /H1 is the closing tag. I'm sorry, this is the opening tag for heading 1, and this is the closing tag for heading 1, and I'm closing it with a /. So whatever you write here between those opening and closing tag, that is the text that is going to be affected by these tags. So I can show you an example. So this is a, this says this is a heading. So if I want, I can delete this and I can make changes to this. So I'm going to write this is do space, and in the similar way, I can just make changes here to paragraph, and I can say this is HTML class. So I just made changes to heading and paragraph text. And why we are doing this, we are just trying to understand this fact that the words, that the text that has been written between opening and the closing tag, opening tag without the /, ending tag with the /, whatever you write between opening and closing tag, that is the text that is going to be affected on your run page. So I'm going to click on run here to see how does it look on my run page here. So I'm going to click on run, and as you see, this has been changed. So this says this is do space now, and it says this is HTML class. So this is how you go ahead and you learn about HTML, the basic thing, how a specific page has been written. And then after you write the specific page, what you do is you try to make changes to the page, and you try to find the exact tag for that specific page. So I hope this makes sense for you. And this is the basic thing. It's very important to understand. So having said that and having explained that, I'm going to take pause here for 3 to 4 minutes, and then I would request you and suggest you to write me any message in the chat box if you have any questions, and if you want me to repeat something, or if you want, if there is something that you could not understand, or if there is something specific in the W3 school you were not able to access it, or anything you would like to write. So, I'll take a pause here so that we are on the same page, and then we can go ahead and I can explain you some more things. Okay, looks like I do not have any questions, but at any point of time, well, I have something in the chat. Let me go back and see. No question. I'm actually familiar with HTML. It is the CSS I don't know about. Well, this is a very basic workshop, and we will talk about a little bit about CSS in the end too. Thank you for your question. So this is like we talk about pretty much mostly about HTML in this class because this is a beginner class, and then we talk about some of about CSS too. So I'm going to show you some example with CSS before as we go further and touch on few other things on HTML. Thank you. Okay, so let's go further and read some slides from our the presentation. So we talked about tag. We talked, and there's they have been talking about tags, and there's a very important information about nested tag. So nested tag means tag in tags. So whenever you are writing something specific, so there's an example. I am writing the nation. I'm writing the word the nation. I'm writing this as a heading in my document, heading 1. And I'm also trying to make this as a italics. So this would be an example of tag in a tag, which means a nested tag. So it is very important to understand when you close the tags, you close the tag, which is the first you close the tag, which is closer to the text that you are writing. So I'm writing the nation first. So there should be italics tag that should be closed first, and then the heading tags that should be closed later. And then there's also a structure of a web page. We just discussed this in the example in HTML. So this is the structure of the web page here. The title tag, this also, talking about title tags here, text formatting. So these are some of the examples of different kind of tags that you can have. So for boldface, you have B, italics, you have I, underline, you have U, paragraph, you have P, and now for next line, you have BR, which is called break line. So you just break the line and go to the next line. So it's very important to understand, whenever you are working in HTML and writing code, it's very important to understand that, if you want to do a specific thing, you have to, find the specific code for that thing. So this is how it works. Just find the specific code and then write the code with the tags, and this is how it is going to work for you. Changing the font sizes, if you want to change the format, there can be sizes from 1 to 7. Changing the font colors, so you can change the font colors to headings. So we just learned about heading 1. So heading 1 can be, if you keep going, heading 1 to 7. So there could be till 1 to 7, and the size keep on decreasing. So if we're gonna see example here, so this is H1. If I want to do it, so just look at the size. This is do space. This is a very big size here. So if I'm going to do this H3 here, want to choose the specific, size for the heading, decrease it H3. And if I'm going to run this, see the size has been decreased. This is a smaller size now. So H1, it goes to H1 till H7, and pretty much for fonts too, and some other things for HTML. They are the same. So if you guys keep going from 1 to 7, and then maybe to next level, the size keep decreasing. Aligning text center is also a center heading, pretty much like how we do in the Word document. We align our text to right, to left, and to center. This is how you can do it in the Word document too. Comment statement. So this is what I, take few minutes here and talk about comment statement. This is very important comment statement when you work in a team, and also, when you are writing HTML, practicing HTML for the very first time here. So I'm going to find an example here from the comment section. There's a comment here. So comment is about, so you can just certainly say that HTML comments are not displayed in the browser, but they can help document, but they can help document your HTML source code. So this is pretty much like just writing your notes to yourself in the HTML code. So comment statements are notes in HTML code that explain the important feature of the code. The comment do not appear on the web page itself, but are a useful reference to the author of the page and other programs. So let's go ahead and try it yourself here from W3 Schools. So as you will see, the comment lies between exclamation mark here, start and end. And there's a good thing to notice that there's no / when to end the comment. So whatever you write here in this area, this is a comment are not displayed in the browser. Whatever you write and you click on run, this will not be going to be appear in the website page. So you can ask this question that why, if it is not going to be appear on the page, why it is important, why do we have to do this? Well, to answer to this is why this is important, because it helps you to keep a track of why you are doing certain changes on a specific page of codes when you're writing the code, or maybe when you are editing, why you are editing your code to those things, what is the purpose of doing that. And when you are working, especially it gets even more important when you are working with a team. So every team, they are working together on HTML pages. So it's very important to write comments so that people from the other team, they can understand that why we have been doing this. So this is how the comment statements gets very important here. So the text blink, if you want to make text blink, there's a blink tag. You can just use this, supported, and always remember this is not supported by Internet Explorer. Page formatting is another thing. Background color, if you want to change the background color, if you want to change the text sizes. So there is another thing here. BG color, black text, white. So if you want to, for example, if I want to just see how does it giving me the color or maybe a specific thing to my text that I'm writing, so I can just type this here and click on read. See, so this is giving a background color, a green color to my text, and the text is white. So this is how you can, this is how it works in the HTML. If you want to write your text into a specific color, if you want to give it a specific background color to the pages too. And this relates pretty much to the CSS question that you asked me earlier, that CSS actually gives uh, more power to your HTML, more power to your HTML in the sense of what all you can do with the background colors, with the text, and it's so you can say it's like an add-on to HTML. So with HTML, you can. Sorry about this. That was iWalkie. I should have put that off. So yeah, what I was explaining is uh, CSS gives uh, more features to HTML. That's like an add-on to HTML. So if I want to have more features on the page that I'm writing, maybe moving text, maybe have a video attached, maybe have a different kind of text which is not done by HTML, maybe a different color that I want. So there could be so many things here. So I'm going to show you some examples from the W3 schools. Let's talk about a little bit about CSS. So if you go to, learn CSS, you can click here. So you will see it's the introduction to CSS. CSS is the language that describes the style of an HTML document. So pretty much like how a HTML document has been styled. Let me see. Jana. So Jana, you asked me about Jana Taylor. So you asked me about CSS. So CSS is, if you know HTML, you have seen that you can just do, write a simple document in HTML. You can code it. You can make, you cannot give color to text that you're writing. You can give color to background, but then it's kind of a different. If you wanted to add more features to div, you cannot have borders. If you want to border according the page, if you want to change the height or width of a specific thing. For example, if you have an image, you don't want to have the different height and width of that. Padding is also done in CSS. Padding is very important because padding means in the coding language, padding means how much you are away from the page setup. It's pretty much like page layout. Whenever you work on the Word document, you will see that you can set up a page layout that you are 1 inch from the right and 1 inch from the left and one from the top and bottom, and you can change it if you want to with different levels and with different things. But how do you do it in the coding? You do it with the CSS. So CSS help you with the padding. You can add colors to it, so many colors. You can add syntax to it. And icons, if you want specific icons like @ of, hashtag, positioning. So there are so many things you can do, and you will see it here on the left hand side, bottom left hand side menu. You will see there are so many options: inlining, aligning, and gradients, web fonts. So yeah, there are a lot of things that you can just do with CSS, and not just with CSS. I mean, it has to be integrated with HTML. So CSS is a language that describes the style of an HTML document. So how can you style a simple page which is written HTML with more? You can do more with CSS. I hope I was able to answer your question. So let's take a few examples here, and I think you have a message. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, please ask me if you have any specific question too. We are going to take some examples with CSS here so that you can understand. So let's take a very basic example here. So see, this is a very good example, answer to your questions, what we can do with the HTML. So if you remember, if we just did a background color background of the page with HTML with a green color, and that you saw in that saw in that example that the text was kind of merging into the document. So text was not above the page. So that was a limitation of limitation of HTML. But if you use CSS, you will see on the right hand side right now that I am able to give different color to my text here. They are white color, and this is a different color, black color. Well, this is pretty simple, and I'm able to give background a different color, a light blue color, and my text is kind of look different from my page. So they kind of look, distinguishable, uh, if I want to put that in language. So this is how it differentiated between HTML and CSS. So if you want to look here at the code on the left hand side, you will see that there's some part of code which is HTML. So I just explained that to you, that HTML and CSS, they kind of go hand in hand, and then CSS is just a style to HTML. So you just write CSS code in HTML code. So I just started with my HTML code, HTML's head, body, style, and then body, and then I give them background color. So this is CSS code: background color, uh, and then color white, align text center. So you can align the text in CSS too. So I'm aligning in this too, center, font family size. I'm choosing different things here. Font sizes, I can choose font size. So, and then you close. The style is from CSS style. So you close the style first, because that's the CSS code, and then you close head, body, and then so you can pretty much say where it starts from style and it goes to style. This is CSS code, which is written in HTML code. So with the CSS, what I'm doing, I'm giving a background a different color. I am giving text a different color. I'm aligning my text into center. I am giving my font family different color, font size, I'm choosing it. And then I have my typical HTML code here, head and body. And I want to write in head and body about, so what is the text that I'm going to write? I'm just want to write, this is my first CSS example, and this is a paragraph. And you can also, go ahead and change this. If I want a different color, green, and if I want a different color of the text, you can change it pretty much like this. And you can click on this and this will change. And so this is how it is. I mean, you can just, make changes to the code what you want to, and then it keeps change for you. And now I think you will be able to differentiate between CSS code. So style is a CSS code, and the other one is HTML code. So this is how you can see a differentiation and how you can make differentiation between the HTML and CSS codes. There's a question, how come green and not the code for the specific green? Yeah, so you can do either. You can do both of them. You can just do just green, or you can do the code of green. So they are kind of like the pretty much the same thing. Let me think how I can answer this. So you so it's pretty much like you are absolutely right. There is a specific code to the specific color too. So lawn green has a different code that starts with a hashtag, and then there's a number, and then there's a decimal code, and there's a hex code. But if you write just green, it works for you because this code has been written like this. So I just change this code and it's working for me. But if I want a specific code, for example, let's try this. So if I want a specific code, and let's try the code number for this, hashtag 32 and then CD32. So this is a code for lime green color. See, it's just changed. So you can use any of them. I just wrote the code for something specific, lime green, and it's changed the value. Just change the different color to me. So you can actually do any of this. And yeah, it honestly, it depends how your code has been written. Sometimes your code, they just written with the specific code. So you won't be able to make changes to this. But this code, however, was just written with all the colors. So I think I was able to make changes. Otherwise, I won't be able to. Yes, yes, you can sure, yeah, that's correct. You can use the code too. So like pretty much I use the code, so I was able to change. I just wrote the code and then I was able to change the color too. So you can go ahead and you can use the code, and you can and if a specific page has been written with the colors, you can just change it with the colors too. And then but sometimes you will see a differentiation when it is not written in when it's just written in codes, and if you write color, then it will not change for you, and vice versa. I mean, most of the time it changes, like 80% of the time it changes, but then there could be some times when it is just written in one specific domain, not domain, I mean, maybe I'm looking for a word, in just one normal culture, then you will not be able to change that. So you have to go by those things, but most of the time it works. So just pretty much like it worked for me now. Yeah, so this is how CSS works. And then if I want to go go back to CSS tutorials, and I want to see more things here. So you want to see the paddings. Padding is a very important thing here in CSS, because whenever you write a page, you try to so I was talking about padding, top, right, bottom, left. So whenever you write a page, for example, I'm writing this page, this words are starting from here. They have a margin, this much margin on the left hand side, and then they have this much margin on the right hand side, from top, from bottom. So very important when you work on professional web designing and professional web designing pages. So let me go ahead and show you an example. So this is so see, this is I have a padding top 50 pixel, uh, right 30, bottom 50, and left 80. So this depends. How far my text would be from the top, how far would my text would be from right, from left, and from bottom, and pretty much like for everything that you write. And then specify you can specify this padding for different sections too. So I mean to say that you don't have to do it specifically for a page, but you can do it for a specific section, and you can also make it work however, if you want to do it for images, and then videos and audios if you have big audios, and audios, the line bar, how it goes in audios and all things like that. So yeah, that depends, whatever you want to do. So if we go ahead and look at this code here, so you will see there's a doc type HTML, and this is the HTML code, HTML head style. Style starts from CSS. If I go to style here, I will say there's a border. So there's also a border line here. So as I discussed, a few minutes ago, that you can also do border with CSS. So if I want border around this text, so there's a 1px solid black border. So it can be different, type of borders too. So dotted border, not solid, black, you can have different colors. And of course you can have code for them too. Background color, as we just talked about background color, we can change it if we want to. And then padding top, right, left. So if we want, we can change this. Let's change off one of these and see how does it make a difference. So I'm choosing padding top 30 and see, click on run here. See, it just moved up to, because this size just got decreased from the border. So this is how it works. And then, you just have to write all the HTML code with CSS, and you just want to, make sure they are, in sync with each other, and you're just trying to achieve what are you trying to do, and, write all the codes together. Yeah, let's take a pause here. I've been, talking about CSS from a long time. So yeah, so I'll just take a pause here and take any of your questions if you have, and maybe any comment, maybe if you want me to, talk about something, talk about again about something else, or you want to repeat me something, or you want me to show you any of the resources. Well, this is a very basic and beginner class. And then if you guys are interested, we are doing a do space code community. So this is you can find more information on the website. It's called DSCC, do space code community. So what we do in do space code community is we talk about, so this is not a webinar like a teaching class, but then we meet as a group and we talk about what do we learn. We already have a lesson plan listed on our website. So you can go to our website and you can see our lesson plan. This is a 12-week for every language that we are trying to learn. So we meet as a group, we talk about what did we learn, and then there's a lesson plan, there's a videos, there's a introduction, there's a text and information about those things. So you can just go learn about those things, and yeah. And then we ask people if they had any problem, if they had any issue, and then I try to help them with their problems, what they may have. Yeah, so and then for these first 12 months, we are doing HTML, and then we are in our 4th week. Let me see if I can show you here. I think I have bookmarked. Yeah, so this is do space code community lesson plan here. So I can share this with you. Yeah, so this is for our first 8 weeks. So next 8 weeks is HTML. First week, 8 weeks is, I'm sorry, next is WordPress. The first was in HTML. And then we are on 5th lesson. So we'll be doing Tuesday. It's every Tuesday, 7 p.m. So we'll be doing this one, creating tables for our lesson number 5 this weekend. So if you guys want, you're welcome to join. We can talk about more. We can talk more about all the HTML things if you want to go ahead and practice with me. And then at the end, we also encourage our participants to make a small project and then talk about among each other how was the project went for them, and more information. So I'm writing this here. Yeah, so yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. And I would like to also share you another few tools. So this is what I do in the end. I share some tools with my students here. So this is one of the very important tool, nice resource. And then I just talk about all of them. They are free online, so you don't have to pay anything. So this is a lesson plan here for HTML, and it has like 12 lessons. And it talks about creating a list, adding media, working with typography, positioning content, and this includes the CSS. Jana Taylor, this includes HTML and CSS both. So this will, if you want to learn more about CSS and how they go work with each other, this will be really helpful resource for you. So if you can just go ahead and read about getting to know CSS and some other information here, this will be very helpful. So I'm going to send this in the chat message too. Sorry. So just copy this and paste here. So you can just go through this and then go and learn more about CSS and HTML. The other next thing that I would like to talk about is it's called Sublime Text 3. So Sublime Text 3 is a free application. You can download it on your computer. Just go to any browser and say download Sublime Text. So you can Sublime Text, download Sublime Text and you can write your code. Excuse me, and they are going to help you to practice your coding. So how does it work is you can go file and save the file, save file on your desktop as HTML format. So pretty much like I have, see here I have list 1, list 2, HTML format. So if I open this, they are going to open the code for me, the code for me in Internet Explorer, or you can choose Google Chrome. So this is how you can practice. See, I just made this list. So this is how you can practice your coding too. So yeah, this is all I have for you. I just talk about some of the free resources, pretty much basic about HTML, and some of the basic information about CSS, how they work with each other and how they are related to each other. So this is we did today. And then if you have, I'm here for a few more minutes. If you have any specific question, you can ask me. I will be happy to answer them. Otherwise, just keep practicing. And I'm going to write my email address here. I don't know if you're getting my messages, so because that was not to attendees, so I'm going to send them again to you. Oh, that was my bad. I thought I have selected attendees, and I think that was just to a panelist. Sorry about that, but I'm sending you again all the lesson plans here, all the links. Well, I did already. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to write my email address. So that would be mohit@dospace.org. So if you are practicing and if you have any specific question, and if you're not able to understand any of the tag, or if you're not able to find any of the tag, please write me, and then I'm going to get back to you and answer with any specific question you may have. Well, thank you so much for joining me today for this session. We also have Michael McCallum. Well, Michael, if you have any question, you can write us in the chat box. And Jana, you too. If you have any other specific thing that you would like to ask, or maybe repeat, I can do that. We have like 7 more minutes. But I would just suggest you to go, do some practice on W3 Schools with some of the basic HTML home and some of the basic tutorials, and just try to understand how logic works in HTML. How do you write tags? How the tag works? How how you can find a specific tag for a specific thing. So just start writing code with small lines, like 1 line, 2 line, 5 line, 7 line, and just keep working on them. And then try to make, build big pages and incorporated big images and videos and all those things. I mean, this is how I learned. And then this is the right way to learn and practice and just do it by yourself. Well, thank you so much. I'm still here for 5 more minutes. If you have any specific questions you want to ask me. Look like Jana, they left already. Well, Michael, if you have any question, you can ask me. Write in the chat box. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next session. Thank you.